All right, welcome to Buck Don't Know Shit. It is another beautiful day in Texas, a beautiful day in the garage, and today I'm gonna just talk about pitfalls that maybe you might run into, or I run into, or things we run into as at-home car restoration guys. And maybe it's just words of encouragement, or like we are in this together, right? We all have our issues, and I just want to talk about a few of mine that I have faced recently. And this kind of came about because I was editing the videos for my brake bleeding job, which literally should not have been more than a couple of hours, and I ended up spending 4 days on it. Just those kind of things happen though, right? And you can watch the video. I'll probably already have it posted. I'm not going to talk through all the issues I've had with it, or I had with it, but there were many. There were things that were self-inflicted. Pretty well, I guess they were all self-inflicted. Some of it was just from not knowing. Some of it was from parts coming in that didn't have everything they needed. Like mainly my banjo bolts didn't have the washers. And that led to a lot of my problems, and I ended up breaking a banjo bolt trying to tighten it, and couldn't get one local. I could get one local, but I couldn't get two local, and I needed the washers for all of them. And just not knowing a lot of things led to a lot of problems. And then I realized you could get just the washers at O'Reilly's for the banjo bolts, actually on the shelf, which would have saved me a ton of time had I known that before I tried to use washers I had in my, in my shelf. That didn't work, and long story short, I spent 4 days chasing leaks and had some other issues, which you can see in the video. But probably if I'd have had the correct washers on those banjo bolts from the beginning, and actually known how to set them and how to torque them down, and I probably would have had the brakes bled in a couple hours. Instead, it led me down 4 days of troubleshooting, chasing issues, and trying to figure out where the air was coming into my system at. And a lot of taking things apart, putting things back together, thinking this was a problem and it wasn't, and yada yada yada. So just went on for days, 4 days actually. So things like that happen. The other thing, like I run into a lot, I really only have a few aftermarket, like not OEM parts. One's my sway bar, I put headers on, which caused me to change the starter, which the starter, there's a video on that, did not engage the flywheel. So I had to machine it down, the face of it down, and so that's the other thing you're going to run into with these vehicles when you're changing things, especially when you're changing things. It's like guaranteed something's not going to fit, and you're going to have to modify something else, and then you modify something else, and that's probably going to lead to another problem. And it's a headache, right? My sway bar, oversized. Bought that on, I think that's all you can buy now on like Bird's Nest, is an oversized sway bar. It is better than the original, it's thicker, sturdier. But when I put mine on, it hits my pulley on the crankshaft pulley, right? And I thought it was just because the car was in the air and it was kicked up because the weight was off the wheels. But even when you put weight on the wheels, it was still right there touching it. So like, well, shit, maybe I did something wrong. I don't think I did, but I didn't actually. Call Bird's Nest, and I'm like, hey, have y'all ever heard of anybody having this issue? And the guy's like, well, motor mounts. Like, yeah, your motor mounts could be collapsed and the engine's setting lower, and that's why it's hitting. So I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't change motor mounts, which I regret. So a couple things I did. One, I lengthened the linkages, the sway bar linkages, where it goes from the control arm to the sway bar. Lengthened the little metal piece. I had to buy some longer bolts and got it. The actual sway bar got away from the pulley by doing that. So that was fine. I could have drove it like that, but I still needed to change the engine mounts. So I'll order engine mounts off of Rock Auto, and it's the same ones on O'Reilly, and they say they're for a 390, 65. You get them, they're not the right engine mounts. And I'm just explaining things that I run into, that similar issues are going to happen to you, right? Guaranteed fit. All the different websites say these are the ones you need. Look on Bird's Nest, and the reason why I didn't get him at Bird's Nest, because at the time he said he didn't have one, the driver's side or something like that. So I was like, well, I'll just get him at O'Reilly's. And I could tell he was like about to tell me something like, oh, well, wait, and he stopped himself. And he was probably about to tell me like what you get there is not correct. And so that's what happened. I got them there completely different than what you're supposed to have. And so they didn't work. So then, I was about to go to work and be gone for a few weeks, and I was. So I didn't get that project buttoned up, right? Could drive the car now because the sway bar wasn't hitting, but the engine mounts were still bad. So eventually I get home, and this is just to talk about more issues that I have with the car. At this point, I've driven the car. It's had no issues running. Everything's fine. But I'm like, well, I got the correct motor mounts, got them from Bird's Nest. And I was like, well, I'm going to change them. That was not an easy job. And that should have been done whenever I had the heads, intake, none of the stuff in the way, because it was very difficult to get to those 2 bolts with the car. Your steering linkages were in the way, your headers were in the way, getting from the top, the brake booster, master cylinder kind of all got in the way. The power steering gearbox was in the way. It's like everything's in the way, especially on the driver's side. Passenger side wasn't that bad. Still would have been easier without the heads on it. So, obviously, if I'd have taken the block out of the car, we would have changed them then. But the time to do it, if you leave the block in the car, is when you don't have heads on it. So it would have been so much easier. But I didn't know that then, that I needed to change motor mounts. So I didn't change them. Regardless, I got them changed. It was pretty much an all-day thing, maybe 2 days. Very frustrating working on it. Got them done, got them in, and then I'm like, well, let's go test drive the car now. Go test drive it, and it cranks, and it gets down the road, and then it dies, like probably half a mile down the road. Of course, it let me run it long enough to get far enough away from the house that, it was a pain in the butt to get it back. Come to find out, when I jacked the engine up to change the motor mounts, I had basically pulled the fuel line off the fuel pump. Not all the way off, apparently. Took a little driving to shake it the rest of the way off. But yeah, had a fuel leak. So we didn't want to work on it down the road. I would have to come get all my tools and bring them down there. So me and Carly pushed the car back, got it close to the house, and then fixed it. No big deal, but that's, again, the kind of things that are going to happen to you sometimes. You're changing a part on the car, not thinking about what it could be doing to other stuff, and you may cause issues that you weren't expecting. So, or you're gonna cause issues that you're not expecting. It just happens. So I guess that's what I'm saying. These are the kind of things I've run into past few days. There was some other stuff. Oh, my hood. Thinking, got the front clip on, everything's good. All I need to do is put this hood on, and the exterior of this car is going to be done. I'm done with it. So I'm looking, and this is the way the car was when I bought it. The corners of the hood stood up, and I always thought, well, that's just an adjustment thing. I'll adjust it when I put the car back together. and that's where I'm at now, right? So I go looking at videos of hood brackets and quickly learn that my hood brackets are pretty much garbage. One of them's got a bolt in it. The other one, the bushing is loose. And you can see the line here shifted that way. And it's, yeah, pretty much touching on that side or over the fender on that side. So my hood brackets are leaning, right? Because they're loose. This one just got a bolt and a nut on it, and that's not correct. So, you know, what does that lead me to do? I'm gonna have to take the hood back off. I had to spend another $300 on hood brackets, $350 maybe, and just things you don't expect. They're gonna come up. Another, like these tail light or blinker indicators, something else. Thought I kept the old ones. I was like, that'll be easy. I'll take them apart, put new light bulbs in them, because they actually worked before I took them off, but I was just gonna kind of clean them up, put new light bulbs in them, make sure everything was good, and go to take them apart, and they just, like, the lenses, the plastic lenses were like just disintegrating. They're so old, right? Couldn't get the bulbs out of one of them because they was all just rusted together. I could have fought it, could soaked it in something solution, trying to get it apart, but still the lenses were bad, right? So that led me to, had to buy these. Well, they weren't here. I was ready to put the front fenders on, get the front clip built back together, and I was like, well, you know, I can get to it from the front underneath there. It'd be a little difficult, but I can do it. Well, try to do that, I couldn't do it. So not very easily anyway. So I ended up basically taking most of the fenders off, taking the headlight buckets off again. And yeah, it ended up, I guess what I'm saying is, what could have been a 10-minute project had I had the right things here whenever my fenders were off, and I could have just put them on whenever easily by hand, 2 bolts right there, no problems. Ended up being a few hour project, taking things back apart, had to mess with the headlights again. It's just one of those things, right? You got to move forward. You don't have all the parts, so you want to keep putting things on the car. And then sometimes you end up having to take them back off whenever your new parts arrive. These are just the things that I have been running into and you're going to run into. And I guess this is just a video for words of encouragement. Just keep pushing forward. It will be okay. You will get it done. It's just going to take time. And no, you are not the only person who seems to take way more time working on your car than you expect. So don't feel bad about it. And maybe I'm telling y'all this to make myself feel better. Kind of feel like I am. Like, but surely everybody has these issues, I would think. So, but if you don't, then let me know. Like, if you work on your car and everything goes according to plan and perfect, then kudos to you. You put together a plan and it came together perfectly. Like Hannibal and A-Team, right? Love it when a plan comes together. So, great job. I'm happy for you, but that is not my life. I will tell you that right now. So, yeah, just a video about words of encouragement. If y'all are having issues like me, don't give up. Keep pushing through. The car is gonna be worth it at the end of the day. It will run again. You can make it run again. May take some time, gonna take some money, gonna take a lot of work, a lot of heartache, but keep pushing through. I promise. It is worth it whenever it cranks up and you can drive it down the road. It's very nice. It's a good feeling. Y'all get out there and do some work. Try to make the right decisions today. Don't be like me and screw things up and have to redo them. But yeah, that's it. All right, y'all like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And tune in to the next Buck Don't Know episode, and we'll see what we talk about next.